Welcome back to the Sherwood Urban Farm, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to make a heap of compost like this without much work at all. A while back I made a video on how to make compost in 18 days, and if you are in a hurry, like let's say it's August and you want to have compost by September, you can certainly use that method because you'll be able to make compost in 18 days with that method. But it does involve a certain amount of manual labor. This method, the only manual labor you might need or you would have to do is to actually spade it into your wheelbarrow, to transport it to wherever you want, or to make a heap out of it. So let me show you what method I'm talking about. I'm standing here in my chicken run, as you can see, with my beautiful hens, and this is where I make the best compost I can make. Look, my other compost is good. I mean, it's full of earthworms and microorganisms, but the way the chickens make compost is something else. And the best thing is, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to turn it. You can see these ladies are busy here. Okay, I did throw down some seed for them, but I'll show you what I've done. Okay, so at the beginning of this week, it looked terrible here. It was like you should never raise chickens. It looked like from a distance, it actually just looked like it was on soil and it was gross. But that was not soil. That was compost. I had to wait for everything to sort of degrade to the point where I could actually scoop it out. I didn't want to add more bedding on the top of that because I knew that I wanted to clear out all the compost to add to my beds for my winter garden. So I dug out the compost. I didn't even take it all out. It was probably, 5 or 6 wheelbarrows full. And this stuff is quite heavy because it's wet, and but it is very dense. There are earthworms in it, but it's not red wrigglers. Chickens should never be on sand. They must always be on some kind of deep bedding. What I've got here is leaves, grass clippings. There's even the sweet potato vines, which I was going to mow over, which I never did do. I just chucked them in here, and they will decompose them here. And what else have we got in? Oh, there's chicken scraps. Whatever is going to degrade, I put in here. I don't put in the serviettes, the paper serviettes from the house, or coffee grinds, or the tea bags and so on. Only because I don't mind the coffee grinds. That's fine. It's just that I don't want the place looking trashy. So I don't want. I've been to places where they also do the deep bedding method, but then they just chuck everything in here. There was even sweet peppers and chocolate wrappings. No, I don't like it. I don't want it to look junky, It must look nice. And the advantage for your hens, for them to be on deep bedding, is that they won't get sick. My hens, I've had one recently. She was a bit off her food. We gave her apple cider vinegar, and it wasn't long with that one. There she is. She's going great guns again. But previously, before I did the deep bedding, oh man, I always had scaly mites. It's when you see their scales start to lift and then their legs get deformed in that. It was a constant battle. I was constantly treating that. I haven't treated my hens for that for years, ever since I've come to this deep bedding method. The other thing is mites. They are, what were they called? Red mites. They would normally be in the coop, and then they come out at night, and then they suck their blood, and eventually they become anemic in that. I've not had that again since I've had the deep bedding method. The two rules, if you have livestock, is either you move them every day or you have them on deep bedding. I don't want them in my garden. I don't want them wrecking my vegetable beds. As you can see, they can climb, they fly up. So they would get up onto my beds. I don't want that. They trash the in-ground beds. They scratch everything up. you go to hang up your washing and you have chicken poo in your shoe or between your toes. I don't want that. I heard it was like that before, and they even used to come into the house. No. So this is the best way, but the best thing is the compost that you get from your chicken run. It is incomparable. So the difference between your regular compost that you make with your kitchen scraps and your garden stuff is that it has a very broad spectrum of nutrients in it, where the chicken manure compost has it's very high in nitrogen, which makes it a very fast acting compost. It breaks down quickly, so it's released quickly into your garden, and it is also high in phosphate, phosphorus and calcium. When you do it this way with the deep bedding, you're also adding a lot of humus and that with it as well, not just the chicken manure. So this method is by far better than if you had to go and buy store-bought compost. It is comparable with your regular compost, but it does have that extra benefit of having the nitrogen. You see these chickens. Oh, that hurt. You guys are bullies. Yes, look at that. Bullies. Okay, so your advantages of making your compost in your chicken run are as follows. You are able to keep your chickens much healthier. It also entertains them because they just love to scratch amongst this stuff. It makes compost for you. It does take much longer. You're probably going to wait like 6 months before you can take your compost out of here. That is why I run 2 systems, because sometimes I need more compost and I need it faster, so then I'll do the 18-day compost, or sometimes it takes 2 months if I have time to turn it. It is very high in nitrogen, phosphorus and phosphate and calcium, and it is easy to do. When you've mowed the lawn, you just come and you tip it out into a heap and they will scratch it and move it along. When you've got when you have an abundance of guavas and you do not like preserved guavas and you actually don't like guavas full stop, you just come and you toss them here, and in return for your investment, you get eggs and you get the most amazing compost. This is just another video to encourage everybody to grow their own food, to have chickens in the backyard, for eggs and the most amazing compost. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and comment and share with your friends, and I hope you have a fantastic day further.